So let's delve into the parable here. Okay, what is the meaning of the request? And once again, the underlying question is this: who or what do you love? So what's the meaning of the request? The younger son comes to the father and says to his dad, "Father, give me my share of the estate." Now see, in the first century, what this son was basically saying was, "Dear Dad, show me the money. Wish you were dead so I could have it." No, seriously, that's what he was saying. "Happy Father's Day, Dad. I love you." I mean, that's what he was saying. He's the dad, basically, "I wish you were dead so that I could get my share of the estate." Now, I know this is bad, but the first person that came to my mind was Prince Charles. She just, he just wants the position, right? And she just celebrated her Jubilee 75th year. Anyway, so the inheritance law in the first century, you just got it now. The inheritance law of the first century was this: when the parents died, the eldest son would get a double portion of the others. So in a family of two sons, the older son would get 2/3 of the estate. The younger son would get 1/3 of the estate. But it was always passed on at the death of the father. And it appears that this dad is doing well. I mean, it appears that he's physically healthy and strong. He seems to be doing well financially. And the younger son, man, he is just starting to get impatient. He's worried that the longer that dad holds on, the less that he's going to get. He's like, "Time is ticking. I want my money. I want my share of the inheritance now." You see, the younger son, he's living with his dad. He lives with his father, but he doesn't love the father. Okay, and so the request of the younger son is both a relational and an economic disaster. Okay, basically he's going to his dad, and he's saying, "Dad, give me my share of the estate." In the first century, that was extremely disrespectful to the dad. It was actually considered an act of violence. He disgraced the family name. He was being extremely contemptuous, not only to his dad, but to the entire family. In the first century, some authors, historians, they say that if a child were to make that kind of request, it should have been met with outrage. In fact, the father should have driven his son out with blows and should have exiled him, been done with him. You see, in the first century, that would have been an economic blow to the dad. Okay, he wanted 1/3 of the estate. See, their prosperity was found in their land. I mean, that's how they produced a living. That's how that was their future. And all of a sudden, this son comes to his dad and says, "I want my share of the inheritance now." In other words, the dad would have to liquidate some of his land in order to pay off his son. The dad was giving up an awful lot. And see, what was happening here is with the son's request, man, he was ripping the family apart. This was a relational and an economic act of violence against the family. And why did he do it? I mean, why did the son do it? Well, here's my observation. The younger son loved stuff, but not the father. As St. Augustine said, he had this distorted kind of love. The thing that he ultimately loved, the thing that the younger son set his heart on, was wealth. He set his heart on comfort and freedom, and with all of the status and all of the influence that came from wealth. I mean, what was taking place here is the father and the father's wealth was simply seen as a means to an end.